Chase Ceremony. I'm Cadet Airman Logan Farinelli, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. I would like if you guys would please stand for the presentation of the colors and the playing of the national anthem by our guest, Staff Sergeant Jeff Carter. Thank you, Staff Sergeant Crosby, for that fantastic rendition of our national anthem. In the year 1918, at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns fell silent. The armistice ending World War I took effect, and more than 4.7 million Americans put down their arms and turned to the work of strengthening our nation. This ended the first global conflict and was initially commemorated as Armistice Day. In 1954, Congress renamed this day as Veterans Day to recognize all of the men and women who have served in our armed forces. Veterans Day is the day to set aside to thank, honor, and pay tribute to all who have served honorably in the profession of arms, in wartime or peacetime. Courage, character, commitment, compassion. These are the attributes we admire when we honor our nation's veterans. We honor the men and women who, with love and respect for this great country, carried themselves as swords and shields for America and who kept war from reaching our front door. Men and women who have endured the worst in times of war, so we here in the United States of America can live and work in peace. In a letter to those who have served honorably in World War II, President Harry S. Truman encapsulated the unwavering character of our veterans, writing, "As one of the nation's finest, you undertook the most severe task one can be called upon to perform, because you demonstrated the fortitude, resourcefulness, and calm judgment necessary to carry out that task. We now look to you for leadership and example in further exalting of our country in peace. Our veterans are the reason we can live as children without being stripped of our innocence by extremist organizations. Our veterans are the torchbearers of freedom and democracy. Our veterans are our loved ones who have sworn to protect this nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We as a nation must never forget the sacrifices of our veterans, sacrifices that make possible the freedom and peace we enjoy today. The willingness of America's veterans to take up the cause for justice, so we can enjoy our freedom and live in peace, has earned them our lasting gratitude. Today, let's reflect on the foresight, courage, and sacrifices of our past leaders and heroes, and remember the courage and sacrifices of today's soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and Coast Guardsmen, who are fighting for freedom and providing humanitarian relief at home and overseas. We also need to remember their families and loved ones who stand by their side and support them as they defend our country. Now I would like to introduce Jarrett Smith with a speech on what Veterans Day means to him.
Veterans Day is important because it gives us Veterans Day is important because it gives us a day to remember and praise those that have served in past and present. Hi, my name is Jarrett Smith, and I am proud to say that my dad is a veteran. He risks his life every day for yours and my freedom. He's currently stationed in Osan, Korea, and will be separated from me and my family until next July. He has missed holidays, birthdays, and milestones, but I understand. All that I can say is thank you. Thank you to all those who have served, those that are still serving, and their families. Thank you for your service, and lastly, thank you to my dad who makes such great sacrifices to make my future better. Thank you, and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you so much, Jarrett. Now I would like to introduce the best of the best, Haley Sanders, on a speech she's giving about what Veterans Day means to her.
I'm honored to be up here speaking to all of you on this occasion. It means so much to me, and hopefully many of you as well. Today is the day to honor the real heroes, our veterans. I'm not up here to throw facts at you and force you to join the military. I'm up here to share my feelings through what I've experienced in my life. Both my grandmother and grandfather are veterans who I've lived with my whole life. The characteristics they've received from the military experience aren't found in regular individuals. They're able to work as one, as a team, never I, always us. They're unbelievably selfless, taking me in as a baby without a single complaint, only unconditional love. They're always putting others before themselves. Their accountability is something they've also received through their military years. Always being there when needed, always knowing what to do, always doing the right thing, always striving for the best results. These things came home. And these two people, the only two people I've ever been able to rely on, they've always stood there and never given up on me, no matter the circumstance or situation. And for that, this day means the world to me. My veterans are definitely my heroes, real heroes. But there are thousands of other veterans out there that are the exact same way. It becomes a lifestyle. I just happen to come home to the proof of that each and every night, leaving me unbelievably grateful. But I'm not the only one in this situation. If you have a military veteran in your family, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, mother, or father, please stand. But look around you. Look at all the people that are sitting next to you. Look at where you're sitting. Look around at this building where you are. None of this would have been possible. Think about the things you have said. None of these things could have been possible without our veterans. None of these things that we do, none of this, none of learning, none of getting all this education, none of doing almost anything that you do on a regular day-to-day basis. These veterans who have risked their lives, everything was for each and every one of you and everybody else on this planet. So just think about it that way and just respect your veterans and just give them a round of applause.
Thank you so much for those amazing speeches. Whether attending a parade, a memorial service, or observing the day in private, please reflect upon the mark and mark this occasion by saying thank you to all our veterans of our nation's armed forces. Thank you and have a wonderful day.